Roger, Ray, that was great, and we're 15 seconds from LOS Hawaii, and we'll see you next after Tedra's handover.
For you there.
And Discovery Houston, we're with you through Mila now, and we're ready for the TV. We're all set for you, Bo.
To spin it. If you don't hold it down, however, it's rather difficult at zero gravity, so holding it down you can get the top spun up rather well. Once it's spun up, it'll demonstrate its gyroscopic stability. You see that it won't tumble now. When I touch it, it'll just move translationally. And here's the first, and probably the last, yo-yo show in space. And here's the, coming up, probably the only time it'll ever be demonstrated, shooting the moon at 2,500 feet per second. That's not a smile on my face.
Looks like a lot of fun. How much practice did that take?
Here we go with a demonstration of the skyrocket. All right, how about that?
Here's a little wheelo, and you can actually get it started using centrifugal force. And once it does get started and you let go, there's enough force generated in it for it to take off with its own dynamics. Now I've got some magnetic marbles floating around. It forms a stable configuration, and what I've done now is to break it up into two halves and push the two halves together and watch the interactions as they join up there. There's infinite combinations and variations that you can do with these. Unfortunately, we can only show you a very bare minimum. And here we have two little circles, which two independent pieces that, let's see if we missed it that time. Any smiles on our faces are just simulated, you realize. There we go. A perfect join up.
Roger, we understand. We know you're not having any fun.
Of course not. They said juggling in space was going to be different. It was slightly different than what you see on Earth.
Looks like that took a lot of
He's got a lot
practice,
more
Don.
manual dexterity up here. In order to get things positioned correctly. This is our friend from Days on Earth, our small plastic flipping mouse, and his nickname, as you may have heard, is Rat Stuff. And we're going to give him a chance to show his stuff in space. Well, he needs to get a good perch on his locker face here in order to do his thing. There we go now. It's a good thing Rat Stuff doesn't get dizzy. Otherwise, he'd have a tough time in space. The paddle ball behaves quite a lot like it does in 1G, except when you let go. And this is not a slow motion picture, although you might think it is.
We've been playing with the jacks, and the biggest problem is to keep your jacks from floating all over the cabin while you're chasing the ball. The ball bounces the same way it does on Earth, but of course the jacks tumble in every direction if you happen to hit one. You have to be very careful when you release them, or they scatter so you can't pick them up again. And the ball, of course, if you miss it on the first go-round, will bounce off the ceiling and come back the other way, and I haven't really perfected catching it going in more than one direction. The Slinky, oddly enough, in most ways, acts the same way here as it you can put standing waves in it. And of course there are compression waves set up in it. It's kind of interesting to let it go. Of course that's something that it doesn't do. It will slink from hand to hand. And there again is a nice reflection of the standing waves that we've set up. But you can see that it won't slink at all. It sort of droops over, but we have not been able to make it slink at all.
Great, Bo, and we sure appreciate the show. That was really fantastic, and it looks like you're going to have a lot of work maybe ahead of you here, too. And as far as we can tell, Bo, you've got consumables for everything that we might conceivably plan for you to do except for food, just for your information. Okay, we're still getting some now, Jeff. Probably only have a few seconds more. Roger that. And Discovery, we've lost the TV at this time. But we've got your music.
Discovery Houston with you through Hawaii.
Hi, Houston. You ready to look at some TV?
Roger that. We're configured for the TV. Whenever you're ready to shoot it to us. And Ray, we've got a good picture.
Okay, we'd like to show you the one fly swatter we have and the beginnings of a second one. We were so busy working we forgot to put up the window shade, so we have a helper here who's acting as a window shade.
Roger, copy that.
Is that more or less what you had in mind for the number one fly swatter?
Roger, Ray, that looks good to me. In fact, if anything, it enhances a feature that we were looking for. We wanted to get it as flat as we could, and that looks good. Did you? Is that already stitched with the thread from the EVA kit?
Yes, it is. That was a mighty fancy needle, but we do have it. Stitched. It's not as flat as it could be with some tape.
No, that looks, in fact, that looks excellent. As usual, you've managed to improve on our basic ideas, so it looks really good.
Okay, and let me show you the beginnings of the second one that we have. I've taken the metal frame here, Bo's notched it, cut off the crossbar. And we think that's what you want us to do with it.
Okay, that's exactly it, Ray. Now, if you'll, it doesn't look like you've punched the holes in it yet. As you're holding it there, if you will cut the notches in the outside of the aluminum frame, and, okay.
That's done.
Okay, and match them up with a set of holes on the inside of the ladder. Now, Roger, we can see the notches very clearly.
Right here, you want the holes, right?
That's affirmative. On the inside edge, the inside window edge there of the ladder, and then use the get some of the 20 gauge wire, cut it to about a 6-inch length, and use it as just like a piece of twister tie through the notch and through the hole, and use the vice grips to get a firm twist on it.
Okay, we think we know what you mean by that.
Okay, and that looks good. We see that you've got 2 notches in there. We would prefer to put 3 in there if at all possible.
Okay, we can do one more. That's all we got for you. We'll switch you to an outside view.
Okay, stand by one, Ray. And Ray, if you've already, it looks like you've already punched the holes in the ladder. But what we'd like you to do is to go over and with aluminum tape and reinforce the holes, just so the holes themselves don't tear out.
I'm sorry, say again. Go over the what?
Roger, cover the holes in the ladder that you're going to use to string the wire through to tie it to the frame. Go over the holes with aluminum tape to reinforce them.
Okay, tape it up and then poke a hole in it and then put the wire through, right?
That's affirmative.
We copy. And Houston, another piece of advice, do you want the sides of the window that we are wiring around to be the same width as the pieces of metal?
Ray, it's not essential that they exactly match up because the metal is flexible enough to adapt to it. That looks great in that configuration.
Say again?
That looks fine, just the way you have it. Just go ahead and wire through the holes and through the notches, and you'll be in business.
Okay.
One other thing we would like to get across is on the original fly swatter that you build, we're going to need a tether point on that.
We do still have the wrist loop here at the bottom. Is that okay?
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
And we just went LOS Hawaii at the time that burn was taking place. Again, that's a small posigrade burn to put the orbiter in the proper position for the inception of rendezvous maneuvers.
And Discovery Houston, back with you now through TDRS. And Jeff, I copied your message, but we had lost the TV picture just about the time you started talking to us in the handover.
Okay, too bad. And the bird is complete now.
Roger, we see that. It looks good. And Discovery Houston, we have the ops recorder running for the PS status report whenever you care to do that.
And Houston, Charlie's not quite ready for his PS status report. He says he'll do it in about 15 minutes or so. If you'll just stand by, we'll let you know when it started and stopped.
Ray, thank you. We copy that. Discovery Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Roger, we've got some more words for you on your original fly swatter regarding the continuing of the taping.
You say some comments regarding continuing with the what? Oh, with the taping?
That's affirmative, Ray. In the original message that we sent up, we had you hold for an MCC go on the on steps 6 and 7, and we're going to modify that somewhat. What we'd like you to do is to strengthen the outboard sides of the ladder and the cone with aluminum tape, not gray tape. You've got it in a good position now with the gray tape. We'd like you to strengthen the outside edges with the aluminum tape. Basically what we want you to do is to tape the sides of the ladder with enough tape so that the tape overlaps the plastic so you get tape-to-tape contact so it holds real well, and run the tape all the way down to the bottom of the cone, and then on the cone itself use the aluminum tape and wrap concentrically around the cone as an overlay just to give it a little bit more strength.
Understand, and do you want the tape run across the top?
Negative across the top, Ray.
Okay, just down the sides and onto the cone, and then around the cone part itself.
That's affirmative, and the philosophy of this is that the ends of the ladder themselves are breakaway points, so that when you snag the hook, we put enough tension on it to pull the hook into place, and then break the weak link in the ladder so that we don't stay attached to it.
Great, thanks for that bit of information. That's sort of what we thought you had in mind, but weren't sure.
Houston, Discovery.
Discovery Houston, go ahead.
Okay, we have received message 46 Alpha, and we'll comply with it.
Roger, copy. Thank you. Discovery Houston, we'd like you to check the EV8 comm and make sure you've got it on 259.7.
Fletcher. Okay, it's back on 259.7.
Roger.
Houston, Discovery.
Discovery Houston, go ahead.
Yeah, I just finished the PS Ops Recorder report, and I recorded from 7 hours 4 minutes through 7 hours 11 minutes.
Roger, we got that 7-4 through 7-11.
Right, and that's MET, of course. Houston Discovery, we're starting on a second swatter mod here, and which wire did you want us to use to tie that on with?
Roger, Don, we're recommending the 20-gauge wire.
Okay. And Houston, Discovery here.
Roger, Discovery, go ahead.
Just thought I'd give you a real short form, real time on the CFA status. I know it'll take you some time to dump the report and get it out. The CFA is operating real well. Hardware's in fine shape. Had to shut down, of course, during the cabin depress. The hardware came through the depress very well. Internal pressures saw very little fluctuation. We were real busy after the depress, so it took a little bit of time to come back up again. I'm recalibrating things, and I hope to be back into separation and collection by sleep tonight. I expect to complete collection and separation and collection of sample tomorrow, and then use flight day 6 for the CCV and osmotic tests. I think that's about it.
Okay, Charlie, we copy that, and it sounds real good, like everything's going according to the plan, as whichever plan we're in right now, but it sounds real good. This could be Rev B or C, we're not sure.
I'm on Rev A and a half.
Roger, we copy that.
Discovery, and looking through the pre-sleep activity list there, we came to item number 8 on 3-2 of the Orbit Ops checklist. Do we need to do that tonight?
Roger, John, stand by. We'll check on that. And Discovery Houston, Don, we'd like you to go ahead and proceed with item 8 and do the cable positioning.
Okay, I understand you do want us to do the cable positioning. We can go ahead and do that. Is that, or you want us to wait till after we're out of this Teeters Pass?
Stand by 1. And Donnie, affirmative, you're a go for the cable positioning now.
Okay.
Discovery Houston with you through iOS.
Okay, we've got you.
Okay, and we've got you loud and clear. If you've got your construction experts around, I've got another project for you.
Okay, we're sitting here with pencil and paper and waiting to hear what you have to say.
Roger, I'll bet you can't wait to hear this one, right?
No, we're really looking forward to it. It's been an interesting day.
I'll bet that's the truth. It's been fun down here too. Okay, Mod 3 on the fly swatter operations. We're going to take your aluminum frame. I think we had you get a couple of them out just as a standby case. We're going to take another one of your rectangular aluminum frames, and we're not going to use the same type of plastic ladder on it. We're going to use some of the contingency tubing from the